Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another review. There's another paid request, this time for Bobby. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos or commentaries or reviews or topics, reactions, re-reviews, or whatever it may be, feel free to send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is a winner today. The Scorpion King 5. Yes, 5. In this case, Book of Souls from 2018. Why do we have 5 Scorpion King movies? Why? I mean, let's be honest. The first Scorpion King is looked at best, average, or mediocre at best. That was a film that was done off of The Mummy Returns, because Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, was in The Mummy Returns. He played the Scorpion King, very beginning, and a shitty CGI version at the end of that movie. That, hey, you know what? Dwayne Johnson, potential to be a big star. Hey, Arnold, he did Conan the Barbarian, so Dwayne, maybe do something like that with the Scorpion King. And obviously, I mean, it made some money, but it's not like you had sequels with The Rock in it and bigger budget. No, that never it became a franchise, but not like The Rock is doing Jumanji sequels and did more than one Fast and Furious movie and more so. You have a film that came out, again, I thought it was average at best. It was directed by Chuck Russell. I think the guy has done much better projects. Chuck Russell directed the Blob remake from 1988. Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors, The Mask with Jim Carrey, Eraser with Arnold Schwarzenegger, all films I like a lot more than The Scorpion King. And Dwayne Johnson, even him afterward, I liked Walking Tall more. I liked The Rundown a lot more. I liked Race to Witch Mountain more. I even liked Doom from 2005 I liked more. Again, Scorpion King, it's not the worst movie ever. It's just a subpar version of Conan. Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer, which I love Conan the Destroyer. I think it's an underrated, fun sequel. And then you'd have 5 of them. And, like, to make a sequel in the first place, the only appeal the Scorpion King had was because it starred Dwayne Johnson at the time, The Rock. So when you don't even have The Rock, it makes you go, what's the point of this? It might be like a shittier episode of Hercules, The Legendary Journeys. And I like Hercules, The Legendary Journeys. This one came off like a shitty episode of that show. With the same type of shitty effects, but at least Hercules I did, hey, it's TV show back in the day. In the 90s, I'd give leniency. This is 2018. And you're not having to worry about an entire season. This is your budget for an entire season. This is one movie. So you don't have The Rock coming back. That should be a red flag in itself. But no, you do Scorpion King 2 and 3 and 4. Then this 5th one, you get Don Michael Paul to direct it. Who's Don Michael Paul? The guy who directed video sequels to Jarhead and Tremors 5, Tremors 6, Tremors 7. He directed Who's Your Caddy? A terrible comedy, like a shitty version of Caddyshack. Who's Your Caddy is awful. Half Past Dead. When Half Past Dead is your best fucking film. Don Michael Paul's best film is Half Past Dead with Steven Seagal. That's his best fucking movie. So you know how shitty he is when that's his best fucking film. I'm a bang. No, my fucking name is a bang, bang, bang. So the Scorpion King 5... I guess there's another guy playing The Rock's character in Scorpion King 2 and 3. They did yet another guy, Zach McGowan. I'm like, why does he look familiar? Oh, he was in another, Death Race 4. And I'm sorry, this guy's not leading man material. Someone said it best. He works as like a grunt subordinate. Like a, imagine a video game, he's like a sub-level boss or a henchman, but not as a main hero. He's in good shape, but he talks like this and he does some grunts here and there, and I just don't think he has any presence. He doesn't have any charisma. The action scenes are not that well choreographed. Don Michael Paul thinks that if you have bits of slow-mo, then all that work is done, but it's not really that great of editing, and the choreography leaves a lot to be desired. This is a random bit, but when the movie ended, I looked at the end credits, and I know this is a stupid thing to complain about, but I've never seen this before. Maybe it's done more often than I knew. But you know how it has the cast, and then they list it? This has cast in cast order number. That's what it says. Cast, parentheses, in cast order number, parentheses. What the fuck is that? I have never seen that before. Like, you see cast in alphabetical order, and one of my cats is even moaning about that. Yeah, I know. Can you believe that? Cast in cast order number. He's going, what the fuck is that? I don't know what the fuck that means. In cast order number. Wouldn't that be typical? Why don't you just put cast then? If cast order number is the typical thing, why do you have to write, by the way, this is in cast order number? I shouldn't be I should be making a big deal, because at least that's the end credits, and I'm like, oh good, the movie's over. But just something that just, like, what the fuck is that? In cast order number? What the... What? Is there another movie that has done that? Just write cast. But anyway, the story is... And I find it funny that you go from The Rock, and the way he looks, and you look at Zach McGowan, and I go... The Rock and Zach is supposed to be the same guy? How do you go from The Rock and his look, his ethnicity, and you go to Zach McGowan? That would be like me doing a... That'd be like, hey, I'm going to do another Hercules The Legendary Journeys. But instead of Kevin Sorbo, I'm going to get Antonio Banderas. I'd actually see Antonio Banderas in Hercules, in that show. But you'd be like, wait, how do you go from Kevin Sorbo to Antonio Banderas? Like, how do you go from The Rock to the Zach McGowan guy? But he's now a blacksmith. That's it. He wants away from the life. Meanwhile, Peter Mensa is our bad guy. I recognize this guy. You remember the movie 300? This is Sparta. Kicks the guy down the hole. Well, the guy that Gerard Butler kicks down the hole, that guy, fallen, is Peter Mensa. This is madness. That's Peter Mensa. I remember him more from Jason X. Just Jason X, he's Sergeant Brodsky. He's like a badass. He gets stabbed. Oh, that'll do it. But he still lives. He keeps going up against Jason. I wish there was just one big fight. But he pulls Jason away from the survivors, and they both go down like a shooting star. Now that's the way to go out. And there's never been any more sense, so technically, Sergeant Brodsky is the one who finally killed Jason Voorhees. Just movie-wise, you've never seen a continuation. I don't care about comic books. Movie-wise, Jason X is officially the end, as far as we know. So Sergeant Brodsky is the one who finally took Jason down. He went in like a cannonball, and he's looking like a shooting star. It didn't break me. That red team ball. The ball and chains are going far. That's Peter Mensa. He's the guy that took out Jason once and for all. He's a bad guy. He has this sword that if he kills people, it takes their souls. The Fane of Anubis. Which is funny because the narration, which this opening, this first 5 minutes, it gives so much of an exposition info dump. I couldn't understand what the fuck was going on. I was like, wait a minute, what? Like, in the first 5 minutes, this is this guy, this is this guy, this is this guy. He does this, he does this. Oh, by the way, he knew the Scorpion team from the past because of blah, blah, blah. It's like, wait a minute. Like, such a big exposition info dump. Wait a minute. Hold the phone. But never mind. And then Peter Menzies says Anubis, not Anubis. He says Anubis. And I'm like, I don't think it's called Anubis. Unless you're talking about cannabis. And maybe you would smoke weed and like this movie, but... And so he has his bad guys, and he's gonna go kill people, and he wants the Scorpion King. I still don't gather why he wants the Scorpion King. Just leave him the fuck alone. He's doing his blacksmith stuff. I almost said blackmail. He's doing his blackmail stuff. He's doing his blacksmith stuff. Just leave him the fuck alone. Just leave him the fuck alone. He wants nothing to do with you. You have been fucking fine. And there's a lot of bad green screen as well. Just cheap jack effects. Of course, Don Michael Paul. What do I expect? This guy, the reason this guy gets work is because he's cheap and he's fast. I would guarantee that's why. Because it's not for talent. Because he has no talent. Don Michael Paul, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Your best bit was the star of Rolling Vengeance, the vigilante monster truck movie. When you starred in that. You should have just done a sequel to Rolling Vengeance. Be more violent, run over people, put some gore in there. Some likable characters would help as well. And there you go. But yeah, this has a lot of bad green screen as well. Zach McGowan, I'm like, this guy is the same character that The Rock played? Okay. Because the thing is, with the Scorpion Team, these are supposed to be like, the Scorpion Team was a prequel to The Man Returns, and then I guess some of them were even more prequels, and there were sequels to the prequels, or they were prequel to the Scorpion Team, or sequels to whatever the fuck. I don't care. I don't care, really. So they want him. He kills some of them in self-defense. They shoot him with a couple arrows. The bitch that works for Peter Mensa kills a kid. We don't see it. We get the idea, though. You know what Zach McGowan reminds me of? A lesser Batista. In a way, like the way his face and his eyes are kind of like... He's like a less interesting Batista. Dave Batista. This Nubian, who I believe is supposed to be the daughter of Michael Clark Duncan's character in the first Scorpion King, she arrives, saves our lead. And that's another thing, this lead gets his ass saved too many times. There's not one but two fucking times when he's weak and scorpions have to be put upon him to bite him, and then... Which, was that a thing in the Scorpion King that I forgot about? That if he's weak, if you put scorpions on him, it's like spinach for Popeye. If you don't know, watch some Popeye cartoons. That's what it seems like. If he gets the stinger, the fucking Popeye comes out. Go get him. Go get Bluto. And then they're on this journey, even though he's like, I don't do quests. Well, this kid dies, so now he does do a quest. So him and the Nubian, they're on their way. They get into some random stuff. They meet this tribe of people in white makeup who capture them. So he just captured again. So he got 2 arrows shot into him. He had to have someone put scorpions on him. Then they get captured again. Then, hey, let's play hide and seek. Or, like, we're going to hunt you. He stops them. He doesn't kill him, but he stops the 5 warriors after him. And then the lead of that clan goes, "You're a good man. You could have killed us, but you showed us mercy." So they let him go. Then they find this dime store Stargate. Like, they stay in the middle of nowhere, and this ripple portal opens. I'm like, this is a really shitty episode. Great, it was a shitty episode of Hercules. That was a shitty episode of Stargate's SG-1. And when they go in there, and this is like halfway through the film, they meet this lady who the text of the Book of Souls are on her body. And you see it in the moonlight. And then this golem, played by Nathan Jones. This golem. And the golem, it seems like they try to be... Remember Thor Ragnarok? What was it? Korg? Remember that Korg character made of rock in Thor Ragnarok? It seems like they just took... When did Thor Ragnarok come out? Now I'm trying to think, when did that come out? Was it out by this time? I can't remember what year Thor that came out. I think it was out by this time. I think it was. Yeah, because Endgame came out. Yeah, it was before that. So, yeah, it seemed like, hey, let's rip off Korg. And hey, remember Korg? Let's put him in here. He's a golem. In this case, he's afraid of fire, but he's a very goofy character. Oh, he punches out a horse. I'm like, oh, so they just ripped off Conan. Remember Conan knocked out the camel? And one of my cats is like, he's complained about the ripping off Conan. I know. Why rip off Conan? This is a better movie. I'll just go watch Conan, the Barbarian and the Destroyer. And he actually did in both those films. He punched out one, and then the other, hey, no hard feelings, did it again, and then Conan, knocked him out again. So it's like, well, instead of a camel, it's a horse. But I've seen this before. I've seen it done better before. So this doesn't need to be in the... It didn't do anything for me. Again, if I want to see that, I'll go watch Conan for it. And sorry about that. I don't know what his problem is. Well, actually, I do. That's why I don't get mad. On a side note, for those who know, I did have a cat pass away after 13 years. Taking it day by day. Very nice cat, Psycho. And I think he misses him. There's a lot of times he would, play. So I think he misses him. I think. Whether that's true or not. So that's why, I let him, And I don't bring him in here because from time to time, I spray the room because that time of season of bugs. I don't want the cats in here just in case. But anyway. Sorry. Just one of those things there and there. But yeah, I apologize for that. God, now I'm trying to think what the hell happened. That's the thing, this movie just reminds you of better movies. Or shows. I would rather watch Hercules' Legendary Journeys, because I like that show with Kevin Sorbo. I like most of the seasons. Not all, but most of the seasons of that show. I'd rather watch that. Hell, I hate this. I would rather watch Cole the Conqueror. I'm not even kidding. I would rather watch Cole the fucking Conqueror, because Kevin Sorbo in that movie has more charisma than this fucking guy. Plus, that has Tia Carrera. I like Tia Carrera. That has shitty effects. This has even shittier effects. Well, this is R-rated. But it's not like you see gore. You don't see, like, heads cut off, blood spurt everywhere, arms. I don't even know if this is rated R now that I think about it. I don't know what this is rated. Maybe it's not rated R. I don't remember what the rating of this fucking film was. Why would it be rated R? Like, the Scorpion King wasn't rated R, I don't think. I think that was PG-13, so maybe this is... Maybe that's what they should have done. They should have said, you know what, let's really go for broke an R rating, the Scorpion King. Let's see what he can do. This is direct to video, and get a guy who has got charisma. Hell, you might as well got fucking Kevin Sorbo. You might as well got a lot of other variety of other people. Might as well. That's what I mean. It just reminds me of like Conan, that Portal, Stargate. I'd just rather watch any of those other movies. It does have a decent amount of fight scenes, but the fight scenes don't. I don't care. Like, they're not that interesting. They're not that fun. They're not that exciting. Just Don Michael Paul is not an action guy. Half Past Dead, even that, with Steven Seagal, the action scenes are not. At least he had a bit more of a budget because that was a theatrical film. That's why I put that above this. But he's not a good action director. Again, they hire him because he could do things fast, he could do it cheap. And that's what they want. They don't care whether it's good. They just care whether it's done. I maintain that. I maintain that sentiment. I maintain that thought process. That's what they care about. We just want it done. It's a movie. I ran for this running time. There is somewhat of a plot. There you go. I mean, this guy, he did twice he has put the fucking stings on the store to be saved. Then you get the battle at the end. The golem sacrifices himself. And it's funny because the lady who is with the golem, she doesn't seem that bummed out that the golem sacrificed himself. She's not like, no, or she's sad, or she's tearing up. No, she's just looking like, that's kind of her look. I mean, what the fuck? Like, and like the final bit is this bullshit wannabe scorpion move from Mortal Kombat, where our lead is fighting Peter Mensa. And Peter Mensa, for the most part, just beating the shit out of our lead. Just beating the shit out of him. I would say at least of the fight, 85% is just Peter Mensa beating the fuck out of him. And this is supposed to be our final battle. And then the lead does this bullshit move where he puts the chain across the guy's neck and then pulls it and flies back. As he pulls and flies back, the guy, he pulls and flies back, and then Peter Mensa like, flies 20 feet into this fucking lava pit. I'm like, wow, this is some bullshit. Wannabe scorpion bullshit. He must have some really good abs. And then I'm going to use my ab muscle to make you fly 20 feet and behind me into this fucking pit. Not like punching him, kicking him, cut his head off. That's why maybe this isn't R-rated. That's why you didn't see much of anything. If it is R-rated, they definitely fucked up. But why not make it R-rated? And if it's R-rated, why not make it, bloody? At least that would be something. But that still wouldn't help with the lousy characters. Peter Mensa I like as an actor, but he's given nothing to do as a villain. Cookie cutter villain. Cheap production values, cheap effects. Nathan Jones is a golem. At least it's a practical suit. It's not a great suit, but it's not like just a crappy CG thing they put onto him. Stupid humor from him. Like from the... Was it the horse he punched out? Or was it another... Maybe it was a camel. No, I think he punched out a horse, but he said this to a camel. And the cat was like, does something, and this guy, Golem, is, did you fart? Yes, he did. On your face, because you stink. Scorpion King 5, Booker Souls. Like the fact that we have 5 fucking Scorpion King movies. 5. We got 1 Dread movie, but we have 5 Scorpion King movies. There's Universal, they want to just milk these franchises. That's why they got Bulletproof 2. Yeah, let's do a sequel to the Adam Sandler Damon Wayans film, which I like, but no one remembers and no one talked about. It wasn't a hit. Let's do a Bulletproof 1 2. Let's do a Backdraft 2 that no one asked for and it's been clearly forgotten. And some people are probably going, wait, there was a Backdraft 2? Yes, and exactly. And then this, Universal, what, 1440? Might as well be 1408. You go on them, you get fucking trapped forever and haunted to watch these shitty movies and shitty sequels forever. That should be called Universal 1408. You're trapped. You can't get out now. But yeah, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.